What's poppin', everybody? This is Lilia and I am here to show you my skin prep and complexion routine. I'll be walking you through my entire morning skin routine that I love to do right before I put on my makeup, as well as how I achieve my flawless complexion. Keep watching. First things first, skincare. Your skin prep is so important to how your makeup is going to lay on the skin, as well as how your makeup is going to last throughout the day. It is probably the most important part of your entire complexion routine. So I'm going to break down my personal skincare routine that I love to do in the morning before my makeup. The things that I'm going to focus on are going to be brightening and hydrating the skin. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to go in with is cleanser. My favorite cleanser to use in the morning is Henriksen's Truth Juice Daily Cleanser. I love this because one, it smells so good and energizing, and for two, I really love that it cleanses the skin, but it's very gentle, which is something that I want in the morning. I really like that it has orange fruit water in it, and that's going to be really brightening on the skin, but it's also going to really help energize and awaken you, which is perfect for the AM. Honestly, a little bit goes a long way with this product, so I'm just gonna use about that much. Go ahead and just apply it on dry skin. Another thing that I love about this is that it does have PHA in it. PHA is really going to lightly lift away any dead skin cells on the skin. So the next thing that I'm going to go in with is a toner. My favorite toner is going to be the Belif Aqua Bomb Hydrating Toner. This is like a drink of water for the skin. I really love that it's going to balance the pH, but also going to add that extra bit of hydration for the skin, which we all need in the morning because during nighttime when you're sleeping, your skin's actually going into recovery mode and it's losing its most moisture. So we want to make sure that we're adding that hydration back into the skin, especially in the morning right before makeup. Just moisten it on a cotton pad, and then I'm going to go ahead and just gently sweep. You can also just put it in the palm of your hands as well. I personally just like the cotton pad. Next, Belif's Hungarian Water Essence. This is so luxurious on the skin. It's like an extra drink of water. I really love an essence because it's not only going to soften, plump the skin, but it's also going to help every other product that you put on top of it drive deeper into the skin, which is really great because I am using a lot of products in my skin prep, so I want to make sure that nothing's feeling too heavy. So if I can have that extra product that's delivering the rest of the products deeper into my skin, that's even better. And this one, just love to smooth it on and then press it in. Now I'm going to be going in with one of my favorite serums, not only for the morning, but for specifically my skin prep before makeup. I love the Caudalie's S.O.S Quench Thirsting Serum. I really like this because it is lightweight, oil-free, and it's really going to help hydrate the skin. I also like that it has the grapeseed in it, so it's also going to help calm the skin as well. So if you're someone that's prone to redness or irritation, this is going to be ideal for you. All right, and that brings me to my all-time favorite morning oil, and that's going to be Youth to the People's Superberry Glow Oil. This is so beautiful because it's a very lightweight oil, so it's gonna absorb very quickly and not feel extremely heavy on the skin. I also really like that it has the acai in it because the acai is really going to help make sure that the skin is not looking dull, and then it's going to be also very hydrating on the skin. I put about, I don't know, that was about like 4 or 5 drops, like little drops. And I really like to make sure that I emulsify it in my hands to really help to break it down. And this is another one I like to just smooth on. And then I'll go ahead and press. All right, you guys, I promise we're at the final steps. this is going to be hydrating. We're gonna talk about moisturizer for under the eye as well as for the face. Now these two can be really big game changers in your entire skin prep for your makeup routine. There are some moisturizers and eye creams out there that will make the makeup look a little funky. You could add balling, rolling, texture, or even that really like slippy feel where your foundation feels like it's almost like slipping off. So I'm gonna go into detail about these next two products with you. My all-time favorite moisturizer out there, period, is going to be Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. You guys, this is so luxurious. It is the perfect moisturizer for a skin prep. I promise you, you need this in your basket right now. Drop it there, sis. Hit the cart on Sephora.com because this is such a game changer for makeup. I not only noticed that my makeup laid better on the skin, but it lasted longer throughout my day. Now I'm gonna go in with about this much amount, I would say like maybe a dime, maybe a little bit less. You don't need too much again because this is really, really rich. And then I'm going to, again, just massage it on, and then I will end up pressing it into the skin. But I love this. It has hyaluronic acid. It's gonna really help to hydrate and plump your skin. And then it's loaded with peptides, which is really gonna help boost the collagen. Okay, let's get into this eye cream. I'm not gonna lie to you, eye cream was a huge struggle for me when I started getting into skincare. I have dark circles, they're hereditary, and I'm also somebody that can break out in milia very easily underneath the eye. And any kind of eye cream I chose either broke me out in milia, didn't help with dark circles, or made my concealer really crease and just fall apart, and it was a hot mess. Then I was introduced to Skin Fix's eye cream. This is their Lepid-Boost 360 eye cream. It is so beautiful. When I tell you that I gave up on eye cream, I really mean that I gave up on eye cream until I was introduced to this. It is very, very lightweight underneath the eye, and it absorbs super quickly, which is ideal for someone like me who has a struggle with product absorbing underneath their eye. So if you're prone to milia, this is definitely a must-have for you. And another thing that I love about it is it actually goes completely around the eye. There's a lot of eye creams that you can't put on top of the eye. This one, full 360. So what I'm gonna do is put in literally like a rice grain, and that is perfect for both eyes. Again, you wanna make sure that you're not adding a lot of product. That eye area is super delicate. It's almost as thin as like tissue paper. So you wanna make sure that you're not using a lot, or else it's not going to absorb. And then again, you're going to go ahead and break out with milia and so on. So using my ring finger. This finger has one less tendon, so it's gonna be less pressure underneath the eye, which again, perfect because the under eye area is so delicate. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press right at the orbital bone. You don't wanna put eye cream right underneath the eye because it's so light like tissue paper. If you think about it, when you put tissue paper in water, what happens? It slowly starts to trickle up the tissue paper, right? Same concept with that under eye skin and eye cream. Just place it underneath here, and then eventually it will absorb where it needs to go. And voila. This is my skin prep for my makeup. Now, I know that was pretty extensive, and you definitely don't have to follow all of those steps. I understand that we all have different daily routines, and that could be a little bit long for you. Definitely make it customizable for your daily routine as well as your own skin needs. I just found that this particular routine works really, really well for me. And it also made a difference in the way my makeup laid on my skin as well as the way my makeup lasts. But you can definitely make it a lot more simpler with just, you know, a cleanser, a serum, maybe an oil and a moisturizer, eye cream, or however you wanna tweak it to your own personal life. But now we need to get into this complexion, girl. Let's do this. Okay, honey, let's get into this complexion tea. Now, I'm someone who wants to make sure that my complexion is looking super flawless, airbrush, just mwah, gorgeous. Natural looking, not too heavy. Definitely want to make sure that I'm having coverage in the areas that I need it. But again, I don't want to look like I am wearing a mask. So I'm going to be walking you through some of my must-haves and some of my tips and tricks to a flawless complexion. First things first, primer. We want to make sure that we prime this canvas honey. Now, I used to have the worst experience with primers. They never did what they said that they were going to do. That, or I just couldn't find the one that was perfect for my skin needs and my skin type. I'm not sure, but I just had the worst experience until I came across this holy grail of a primer. This is McGrath's Sublime Perfection Skin Fetish Primer. And I really like this because it does what it says it's gonna do, which is going to blur and smooth any imperfections, but also hydrate the skin. So it has some skincare benefits, which I also really love. Now I'm gonna use, honestly, like the littlest amount, like a little pea size is perfect enough, because I only wanna put this where I need the most blurring, where I need the most smoothing, and that's going to be right around here, chin, a little bit on the forehead. So I really like this. It has hyaluronic acid in it, which is going to help plump and hydrate the skin. And it also has cosmetic fillers in it, cosmetic filler powder, which is going to really help blur and smooth the skin. And it also is going to help with helping with an even skin tone as well as a luminous finish. Okay, step 2, and that is going to be foundation. Now, I have a couple foundations that I really love and that I'm super loyal to, but this is one that I have definitely repurchased over and over again, something that is always in my kit, a foundation I definitely wear a lot of the times out of the week, and something that I can wear on different occasions, and that is going to be Giorgio Armani's Luminous Silk Foundation. You guys, this is a must-have, and it's perfect for any kind of person. Somebody who just wants a foundation that they can wear to work, someone who's looking for their next wedding makeup for a bride, and someone who's going out, maybe for an event or just a girl's night out. Whatever it is, this foundation covers it. I love that it has medium coverage, but it's buildable. So you can definitely build in the areas that you need to if you're looking more full coverage. And it also leaves a really pretty natural finish. Okay, so I started with 2 pumps on the face and I put them right into the middle. And I like to do that because a lot of concerns, at least for myself, are going to be in the middle of the face. And a lot of maybe discoloration, redness is always going to be in the middle because that's where the sun hits, as well as the forehead. So I like to start in the middle and then work my way out. Now I am using shade 5. Shade 5 is a little bit darker than me, which I prefer. I prefer to be a little bit darker than I am because, honey, I am pale. So if you're noticing that it is not matching, it is intentional. But if you definitely want to match the skin, I suggest looking at your neck. Whatever color you are seeing right there is definitely the color that you want to match to if you want the perfect shade match. Now I'm going in with a beauty blender. Brushes are definitely okay to use. I am not against brushes. If you're more comfortable using them, definitely go ahead and use a brush, like a foundation brush. There are some great ones out there. Sephora collection has some beautiful foundation brushes. I personally am someone who wants one tool that's going to be super quick, super easy, just get that foundation on, and also something that I can use other cream or liquid products for. Step 3 is going to be concealer. and I break my concealer into 2 parts. So I like to use one concealer for coverage as well as color correcting, and then I like to use a second concealer that is going to brighten underneath my eyes as well as provide extra coverage too. So the first concealer I'm going to go in with is Yves Saint Laurent's All Hours Concealer. I really love this because it is very lightweight, which is perfect since I am going and layering concealers. I want to make sure that it's not looking too heavy underneath the eyes. I am going to be using shade 4, which is a color that has more of a pink, like peachy undertone, and that's ideal for someone like me who has dark circles under their eyes and needs to color correct. You definitely can go ahead and use a color corrector. Bobbi Brown has some really great ones. Sephora Collection has some really great ones that actually have like a peach undertone or a more kind of brick color undertone depending on your skin tone. But I personally, I like this product. It works best for me, and it's something that hasn't gotten too heavy underneath my eyes. And I like to add this product literally just right there, kind of almost like right where my dark circle is, and then a little bit right here again where I also have some darkness. Definitely can apply this on top of the lid too to color correct. Now, since I'm only focusing on my complexion for this video, I'm okay with a little bit of shadowing on my eyelid because it almost looks like a little bit of eyeshadow. Okay. Step 2 of step 3. I'm gonna be going in with Hourglass's Vanish concealer. Super beautiful. I'm also very picky with my concealers. Giorgio Armani's Power Fabric is my #1 and always will be, but I have been wanting to try something new, and this baby came out. It's very new and I completely fell in love. Has very full coverage, which a girl like me needs and loves. Now, what I really like about this product is it has microspherical powders in it, and what that is doing is it's really helping to blur and smooth underneath the eye. Now, I'm someone who has that little bit of texture because I do have a little bit of that milia right here in my eye. This is really going to help in blur any of that out. Now, I like to be very bright. So as you can see, this color is really light. That's my personal preference. You definitely can still add brightness by just going 1 or 2 shades lighter than your typical concealer. But again, I want to be snatched, so I'm going to go in with literally the lightest shade that they have. I really like to do dots, and I like to put this right underneath the eye, following my cheekbone. And then I'll go down to where my nose is. So kind of just adding this little triangular shape, which is also really helping to shape my cheekbone and really complement my face shape. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some to the forehead. Now, if you can see, my forehead definitely has a little bit more length than it does width. And I want to go ahead and make sure that I am adding balance around the face. So I don't want to lengthen my forehead anymore. I want to add some width to it. So I am going to keep this concealer right there. And then I will bring it down the nose. Also gonna add some on my chin area. Now again, I actually have more width and I wanna add a little bit more length to my chin. Beauty blender, love it. Have you noticed I've literally used this for everything so far? All right, step 4 is going to be setting. My all-time favorite setting powder in this entire world. I feel like I say that about everything that I have, but seriously, my holy grail is going to be Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Airbrush Finish powder. This is so beautiful because the powder is super, super fine, so it doesn't add texture under the eyes. It doesn't get into any fine lines. It really, really does set, and it's beautiful if you want a powder that you can touch up with throughout the day. I like that it's also a little bit tinted, so it adds that little bit of coverage if you need it. I'm gonna go in with brush number 79. This is a Sephora collection brush. It's actually a contour brush, but I really, really love it for setting underneath my eyes. Now, pro tip, make sure that you are blending out any creases under the eye before you put on setting powder. If you set on top of the crease, it's literally just gonna set the crease, and then you're gonna have that all throughout the day, and that is a no-no. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just make sure that I am creaseless. Okay. Creaseless, we're all set to go. I'm gonna go ahead and use this in a pressing motion. I don't want to go back and forth. It's gonna add a lot of friction. We did a lot of work. We got foundation, we got 2 concealers. We do not want anything to mess that up. So again, a nice pressing motion. Okay. I forgot to mention, I do break up step 4 as well into 2 steps. So using my first powder here, and then I'm gonna go in with another powder because I do like to bake. And I like to bake with Anastasia's loose setting powder. This is in shade, I believe, translucent. And I really, really like this powder for baking. I don't find it to be too drying. I really like the translucent color. It also does come in other colors as well for other skin tones, especially if you do want a little bit of a tint. I also find that this does add a little bit more brightness underneath my eye, which I love. Again, I do get oily in my T-zone area, and the Charlotte Tilbury powder, it does a pretty good job of it, but I like to make sure that I'm not getting oily at all, honey. So I like to go ahead and bake in my oily areas, which is mostly going to be around the nose and just right under this area. This is sometimes where I could see a little bit of separation. So I'm going to use the exact same brush, number 79, to apply this powder, and I'm going to fill up that brush pretty heavily with product, as you can see. And then again, we're going to place this in those targeted areas. Okay, so super important about baking, you don't want to leave this on for too long or else it can dry out the under eye area as well as other parts of the face that you did apply it on. So I honestly like to leave this on for maybe like 1 to 2 minutes and then go ahead and whisk it away. So while I'm letting this bake, I'm going to go ahead and start my contour, and I'm going to go in with Tarte's Parkave Princess palette. I really, really, really love this. It's actually super, super good. I apologize, it is a little dirty, but I really love the range of shades it comes in. You have your highlight shades, and then you're gonna have your contour shades that come in different colors and tones, which is great, especially if you are a makeup artist and you need something in your kit for multiple different clients. This is very, very ideal for you. Okay, so I'm gonna be going in with, this is actually a Makeup by Mario brush, Sephora collection. This is the contour brush. If you didn't get that collab, sis, where were you? Really, really, really great brushes. So I'm gonna be dipping my brush into shade Carrot, this guy right here, and tap a little bit of that off. Now, I really, really think it's ideal for you to really get to know your own bone structure, and you simply can do that by just using your hands and feeling around. And some people might have struggle with finding where their cheekbone is, and if you literally gently press, you could feel where that cheek starts, the apple of your cheek, and then you could feel where the cheekbone is. Now, a really, really big misconception is a lot of people will do this thing and then they'll draw it right there. But if you notice, that's bringing that really low, and we want to uplift that cheekbone, honey. So my cheekbone is right here, and a really, really great point of reference is going to be the top of your ear. Usually, top of your ear is where that cheekbone is starting. So I'm gonna go ahead and start there, and I'm gonna gently sweep this product down. I'm only gonna bring it like right to here, almost like right where the eye corner, the corner of my eye is. And I'm just gonna keep it right there. All right, other places that I'm gonna add contour just to make sure everything looks really unified is going to be the forehead, temple, as well as my jawline. And I will snatch my nose, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So again, if you remember that I said that I feel like I have a lot more height than I do width. So I'm really gonna concentrate this contour right up here, just to add a little bit more balance right here in the forehead. And I'm gonna be brushing this back into my hairline. We don't wanna look like we're wearing a mask, so definitely bring that back. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit here because I don't want it to look like there's just brown right there and it's not really sinking into everything else I got going on. So definitely just gonna add a little bit, but more concentrated right here. All right, now jawline. Now I see a lot of people apply it right on top here. The key is to apply underneath. When you apply right here, that's when you're gonna see that brown streak that's right there. We don't want that. It's too noticeable and it's not really doing what we want it to do. We don't want to shorten this area. We just want to maybe, you know, cover up, you know, that late night snack that we had, cover up, you know, Christmas dinner, whatever it might be. Okay, now I have a tip that I really, really love to do with the eyes with contour, but before we get into that, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away this powder. I'm gonna go in with the same 79 brush that I used to apply it, and I really like to be gentle with this area. I don't, again, want to do this kind of motion. I wanna lightly lift away the product, but also kind of press it into the skin as well. So my tip and trick for adding that snatched look is putting your contour on the eye and on the temple and just bringing it back, following the shape that you created on the cheek area. Again, taking the same Makeup by Mario brush, same contour shade, and literally going to place it right on the eye and swoop. Like, hello. All right, now that the face is snatched, we want to get that nose snatched. So I'm going to be going in with a Sephora Collection blending brush. This is number 27. I really, really like it because it's slightly fluffy, so it's not going to add too much pigment, but I really do like that it has this kind of narrow edge here, which is what I'm going to be using to add the contour. Now I'm gonna go in with the exact same contour shade. Now what I like to do, and one of my tips and tricks are, is I like to literally follow where my eyebrow starts. You kind of see this little like arch right here. It leads you right there, right where you want to contour the nose on both sides. Let me show you. Okay, contour is done. Now we can go into bronzer. Now your contour is always gonna be more of a cooler shade because it's mimicking a shadow. Your bronzer is going to add that warmth back into the skin. I love using Nars's Laguna bronzer. This one is super, super pretty. It doesn't make me look orange, and I absolutely love. It also does come in a darker shade. I believe it's called Casino, and that's really beautiful if you're a little bit more tan. And I'm gonna be going in with Sephora Collection brush number 59. This is a powder brush. I love it because you really can use it for anything powder. Powder foundation, bronzer, contour, even if you don't wanna be super precise, blush. Really love that it's a multi-use brush. All right, so your bronzer, again, is meant to be very sun-kissed looking. You wanna place bronzers where the sun would naturally hit the skin. So I really love going in a nice like flicking motion upwards, like right on the cheekbone. Right, just a little fluff motion right here on the forehead. And then just like how I placed contour on the eyes, I'm gonna do the same thing with bronzer. Now it's time to add some life back into the skin, some color, and that is gonna be with blush. I've been holding it this whole time, and it is Nars's Free Lover Cheek Palette. This is super beautiful. It has really pretty colors and has a cute little highlight shade right here. I honestly love to mix a few of them together. I'm gonna go ahead and mix these two right here. I'm gonna be using the same brush that I used for the bronzer. So I know a lot of people have a hard time figuring out where do I apply my blush? Where is the apple of my cheek? Now, if you go ahead and smile, and if you literally press right where that apple was, that is the start of your cheek right there. That is where you want to add that flush of color. Now, a tip for you is place it there and bring it back into your bronzer and contour. That way everything is just meshing together and you can't see where one thing starts and where one thing ends. All right, the last part, but my favorite part, which is going to be highlight. You all know I love to glow and I love my skin to look very radiant, so prepare for me to go ham. So a pro tip and trick for you is to get the skin nice and damp before you put on the highlight. This way you don't add any texture when you're placing it on. It goes on really smooth and it just looks wet. Now I love doing this with Glow Recipes Watermelon Glow Mist. This is super, super pretty. It smells delicious and it's really, really fine, so it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't disrupt your makeup. I also like that it adds moisture back into the skin, so if you are feeling dehydrated throughout the day, you can go ahead and mist this all over and voila, you're back to hydrated, radiant skin. Also nice and small, so you just pop it in your bag. Another thing that I love about putting on a hydrating mist is that we did add a lot of powder on the skin and sometimes it could start to look a little powdery. So by doing that, it really helps to eliminate any powder residue. I will be applying this highlight with Sephora Collection brush number 98. This is a highlighter brush, really, really pretty. I like that it's fluffy. I like that it's also flat, so it lays perfectly on the cheek. And honestly, y'all, to each its own. I go ham with highlighter, so definitely less is more for some people. You don't have to go as crazy, but I want to be shining to the gods, so be right back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix my brows, add a little bit of mascara and lipstick, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was super informative for you and easy to follow along. Please leave me any feedback. Let me know if you liked it. I'd love to do more of these videos. See you guys next time.